Yeah, I knew Colin from when I joined Cooper Fire Station, the train station, back in 2012. Colin was a crew commander there, known him since then. And when I joined Glenrothes Fire Station, and the whole time he was my crew commander on my first watch, Amber Watch.
I joined the fire service coming up for 6 years ago. I was only in 6 months, and then Colin joined my watch, and he was crew commander then. He'd been promoted, so I knew him straight through my whole training, basically to becoming a fully competent firefighter. Just before the incident, obviously, he moved on to Red Watch, so that was kind of the relationship. Lengthy time I had with him, so it was quite a big chunk of my fire service career. If you had anything that you needed to speak to him about, he was probably a person that you wanted to go to and speak to, because he would absorb that advice and then give you back his take on it. And he was always good for that as well. And that was one of the things that you're major shocked about when that happens, because obviously he was the one that you wanted to go and speak to in that as well, and he was always cheery and always like bubbly, and you know what I mean, one of the people.
While I was still on Amber Watch, we finished up on night shift.
Sunday
so
morning,
it was a Sunday morning. Colin was due to come in on day shift on the Red Watch. Paddy, our watch commander, hung back because Colin hadn't showed up. He was running late. Well, he hadn't showed up. On route going home, Paddy phones me. He says, "Look, Colin's not shown up." So I went past Colin's mum and stepdad's house because we knew he was staying there. He'd moved out of his home. While I was there, we were phoning the police because his mum hadn't heard from him all weekend. The police van pulled up outside, and I met with the cops outside, and they told me they'd found his car with somebody in it, and I kind of knew what happened. So I had to go in and break the news to Colin's mum. I didn't want to go anything. I'd never want to do that again. You deal with a lot of stuff in the fire service, and you know, you deal with fatalities and stuff like that, but you didn't have to deal with seeing your friend's mum getting told that they found their son.
It is the biggest shock. You just sit there numb, like absolutely numb. Like even all the emotion that's in that sort of situation just gets sucked right out, because you're just numb. You're just like, what? You can't believe it's actually happened. And then obviously the emotions do come round at some point, and it is it's one of the hardest things you have to go through, I would say, like, definitely.
There's even things now that pop up when I'm watching something on telly, and I just kind of get a bit emotional on that, and you know, sort of some memories come back. But it's just how you deal with it. You sometimes have to kind of find your own way of dealing with things.
There was no anger from me. I think guilt was one of the, and just there's things that crop up. You start hearing little things, and you think, oh God, like I remember speaking to him about something like that, and should I have noticed at that point? And I think the wee guilty things come in, and you kind of doubt yourself and say, like, could I have done more? And I think it's obviously, now looking back on it, it's a natural reaction for something that somebody that you love and adore. He was that kind of character that you didn't notice it as much, if you know what I mean. He masked it very, very well, like very, very well. And that seems to be common with people that have got mental health issues. You would never know anything at all. And as I say, we were the ones that were going to him and speaking to him. And obviously we knew he was going through maybe a couple of things that wasn't helping him mental health wise. And at the times we did ask him, like, are you okay? All that kind of stuff. And he was, I remember when he left Amber Watch, he was kind of struggling a little bit because he was on a different watch, and he was quiet. I knew he was kind of struggling a wee bit with it, and I actually messaged him saying, look, if you want to go out for a beer or whatever, or a drink just to get stuff off your chest, then I'm happy to do that and that kind of stuff. But that was the last message I sent him, to be honest, and before it, so that was quite a hard one to take.
I have to say, Colin was always at the forefront of helping other people. I mean, you do this job as a firefighter to help other people, and Colin was doing that for both the public, the community, and his colleagues on shift. Basically, he did it at Cooper anyway, and here as well, but setting up a sort of mental health board with posters, advice, and all sorts of things. And that was his sort of, he put that forward. And when you look back now, you think, well,
is that a sign?
Was it a sign? I don't know. I think he just didn't help himself, really.
I think it's important to say that how together the watch was.
Yeah.
Like, it was, like, we're not all on the same watch now, but it's still strong. Everything's still there. We still speak most of the time, and we're still, when we see each other, we're like obviously like happy to see each other and all that kind of stuff, because you've got that thing in common as well. Although it's a bad thing in common, it's something that you could, somebody understands what you've went through basically, and you could speak to them about it if you want to speak to them about it.
We kind of rallied around each other initially, and that's what watches do. You know, we're in a position where we're in a sort of job where you need each other's backs.
Yeah.
You're going into dangerous situations. You need to know that your oppo beside you is going to look out for you, whether it's inside a house fire or whether it's dealing with someone like this that we just lost a friend. And that's what we did. Rallied around. That was a big thing.
That was a massive coping mechanism.
Realising people deal with it differently. There's no kind of one sort of set way to deal with everybody, because everybody's different.
And if they do put barriers up, then obviously you need to work on them a little longer, and that's it. I mean,
but let them know that there's help there.
Yeah, and you could talk to anybody basically.
The big thing is that what was emphasised straight after Colin's passing was the amount of people that came forward and said to like the senior managers, look, I need to do something about this, I need help. I did it myself. I went to the River Centre several times just to deal with it because of what had happened. And I mean, looking back now, I'd do it again. I'm not afraid to go and ask for help, because you see some really horrible things, but it might not affect you. But when it comes to something like that, that's personal. It really does. It affected me a lot, so I wasn't afraid to go and refer me, please.
Speak to somebody independent that's going to help you that way, I think, is a good thing, and I would definitely say that. I mean, the way I coped with it was being here with the watch, and obviously at home, like my wife, all that kind of stuff, like family and that kind of rallied round because they knew the importance of what happened, and that was a great thing for me as well. And obviously speaking to Bill and Margaret and the family and stuff like that as well, that was another good coping mechanism, and knowing that they know that how much he meant to us, if you know what I mean. And this is why we were doing the walk and that as well, and trying to raise money for the two charities and trying to open it up where people could start talking. And I mean, I know it's too late, it was too late for Colin, but if it helped one more person, then that's one more person that's helped. Looking after yourself and talking about it quickly is definitely a thing that we need to do. Like,
there shouldn't be any stigma in sort of going and talking about this, you know. Let's be honest, whether it's the fire service, the ambulance, the police, the military, we all deal with sort of horrific things.
Yeah.
And, you know, there shouldn't be any sort of shame in needing to sort of hide sort of feelings that if you've been at an incident and it's pretty horrific, you're just sitting down with a cup of tea and having a chat with everybody, because you probably find that everybody's in the same boat.
Yeah.
Everybody's feeling the same way. Because they've all been exposed to the same thing. So there shouldn't be any sort of stigma around wanting to talk
it's
about
definitely
that.
getting it out there, that's the thing. And actually trying to convince probably the older generation that it's okay to talk. I think the younger generation is starting to come in now, and they're starting to probably say their feelings a wee bit more often.
Sort of feeding us into the new recruits coming in.
Yeah.
You know, especially like on the training courses. Here's what you like to be exposed to. By the way, this is how you might feel. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, we if we're busy, somebody's having a very bad day. No, let's be fair about it.